Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamika Love from thebudgetmom.com, and today we are doing something a little bit crazy. We're gonna be showing not one budget, but two. So here we have Ryen. As most of you guys know, she's my assistant and my go-to and my right-hand man here at the Budget Mom. And I was blessed and fortunate to find somebody who was also willing to share their real numbers. And it's all in a way to help as many people understand the budget by paycheck method as possible. Nothing, for me, I don't know about for you, but nothing helps me more than actually seeing someone's real life, real numbers, and what that looks like, not just be throwing examples. So today what you're going to be seeing is a full budget overview for February. And the way we're going to do this is, I know so many of you guys, since the very beginning, I've been sharing my budget overviews and recaps over on Instagram, then over on YouTube. But my goal and what I really want to start doing is showing you guys some diversification. I want to start showing you what the budget by paycheck method looks like in not just my life, but in other lives as well. I really think it's going to be helpful to implement the different steps of the budget by paycheck method in your system if you can see someone else doing your scenario as well. So Ryen's here to help us with that. So we're gonna be showing you the budget calendar. We're gonna be showing you the paycheck bill tracker. We're gonna be showing you the cash envelope breakdown. We're also gonna be stuffing my cash envelopes today and in my wallet and what that looks like. We're also going to be stuffing my sinking funds envelope and what that looks like in my budget as well. So let's look at the budget by paycheck method in a new way. Okay, so Ryen, tell me a little bit about how you use the budget by paycheck method and what that looks like in your life.
Okay, so I've been using the budget by paycheck workbook for about a year now. And really what made me want to start was I have student loan debt and I have a car payment to make. So I have student loans and a car payment where I have my debts at. And last May, almost a year ago, my brother and his girlfriend gave birth to a little baby. So now I'm an aunt. And after that really happened, it's kind of like, okay, I really need to start focusing on things because I know she's not my own child, but the love I have for her, like you say without James, is like, it's hard to explain, I guess, until that baby enters your life. So that's really honestly what kind of made me start getting more serious about my finances. Other than that, I get paid twice a month on the 5th and the 20th. And like I said, I do have debt, so my workbook does look a little bit differently than Miko's does.
Perfect. All right. So right now we're going to show you, we're going to push my workbook aside. We're going to show you what Ryen's book looks like for February. So Ryen, tell us a little bit about your budget calendar, how you organize it, and what these different colors mean.
Okay, so here...
That is a really ugly color.
I know, huh? Not as cute as it looks like in the marker.
But not as cute
I had to commit. There was no going back.
I had to commit to that color.
And it's so like not February, you know?
It's just a poop green.
I should have done that for March. It is. I did do it for March.
You did do it for March.
Oh, it does look
really
rotten.
Ugly color too.
I know.
We gotta work on your highlighter.
They look better than they do on the lid. They look better on the lid than they do on paper.
Okay. So you get paid twice a month.
I'm self-conscious about my highlighters.
Oh, man.
Okay,
so tell us how you organize this all out.
Okay, so I get paid on the 5th and I get paid on the 20th. Okay. And basically what I do is I create this little key down here to kind of just remind me what my colors mean. So pink, I have holidays. Here's Valentine's Day. This blue color are my February 5th bills that I'm paying with my paycheck from the 5th. Same with the 20th in this green color. I highlighted all those bills in this green that are going to be getting paid with this bill paycheck on the 20th. And then this gray color here are my bills that I paid back in January that are due in February, and those are just highlighted up here.
Okay, so I think it's really, really important to note. Ryen gets paid on the 20th of every month, but she uses that paycheck to cover bills that are happening like on the very first day or first couple days of the new month. And she has those colored in a different color. So, and you're gonna be able to see that and what that looks like when we break it down with her budget. So, Ryen gets paid twice a month, which means she is creating 2 budgets every month.
Yes.
So the first one that she created was on the 5th. So Ryen, break down your February 5th paycheck.
Okay, so I just got my pay stub today. So my TBM income here was $1,492. I'm going to be using a sinking fund here, counted as income. That's $50. And then I'm also going to be using money from January Savings Challenge to pay debt in February. So you'll see that down here as well. And then here are all of my bills. As you guys can see, I do pay half of my bills, on my bigger bills, each paycheck. So one paycheck isn't designated towards that whole big bill. And I just kind of split up those expenses. So that's all of those equal to $904. My leftover is $732, and here's all of my envelopes. I know some of these look kind of low, but for food, for example, I split that cost with my boyfriend. So this is just pretty much my personal, just for me for 2 weeks, food cost. And then these little stars here, Brock, he's my doggy. And then I am in school, and our parking there, we can't pay for parking with anything but a card. So these just show me that I am keeping this money in my checking account and not pulling out cash for that. And then here's that Valentine's Day sinking fund right here. So the $50, I'm using that down here for $50. So it just kind of cancels each other out down there. And then leftover, I have $342. After all of my sinking fund contributions there, I'm left with $289, and I'm putting that towards my car. Now this $289 does include this $94 from my January challenge as well.
So, if you're unfamiliar with some of the things that she said, so the 2020 Savings Challenges. The 2020 Savings Challenges is our brand new Savings Challenges course that we just released back at the end of December. It's 2 savings challenges per month. You decide what you use that savings for. I'm saving my money until the very end to use it for a specific goal. Ryen is choosing to use her Savings Challenges savings for debt to pay off the next month.
Yes.
So if you're on a debt-free or payoff journey, maybe you're deciding to use that to pay off debt, whereas I'm debt-free and I'm using it for a savings goal. So you got a good vibe and feel for how Ryen does this. Now, one last look at her calendar, because what I'm going to do here is I'm about to transition to show you my calendar, because I really want you to see the differences. So if we bring our calendars side by side, my colors are so much better.
Yours are. Get out of here.
All right, so this is what my calendar looks like compared to Ryen's. Now, unlike Ryen, I'm getting paid only once a month, which means that all of my bills are highlighted in the same color because I'm only using one paycheck. I still have my holidays, but I also have travel going on this month that needs to be included in my budget. Now, one of the things you might notice on our calendars are these little dollar amounts. Like she has hers on Sunday, mine are on Saturday for the $25. My savings challenges goals are highlighted in this teal blue color. So that's what you're seeing. Hers here are highlighted in this purple, and the other savings challenge, or I mean it. I'm colorblind. Oh man, are highlighted in orange. Her commute to work is which is one of the savings challenges, is in yellow.
Yes.
If you're interested in the 2020 savings challenges, it's not too late. Because here's the thing, we created them in a way where you could use them for any month. So even though some of them, the way that we have them written out, February savings challenges, they don't technically have to be done in February. You could start with the savings challenges in March and maybe complete January and February savings challenges in 2021. So you get to decide how you use them. I'll put a link to those challenges in the description of this video. So another thing, my budget. All right, so we have them side by side here. Now, as you can see, my bills look a lot more than hers, but remember, We are paycheck budgeters, which means we budget our paycheck every single time we are paid. I'm paid once a month, which means what you're seeing on my budget bill tracker is essentially my entire month overview. You get that entire picture. Now my income is a little different because I have many different sources. So my TBM income, what I get paid being self-employed, income for Chris to cover half of his portion. And also, which is kind of weird that I just picked up on, is both of us have live-in boyfriends.
Yes.
Okay, don't judge us. Live-in boyfriends. But we handle, I think, our finances a little bit differently when it comes to our partners. So, like, if you heard Ryan said, this is my half, me and my boyfriend, we split the food costs, okay? Christopher and I do separate, complete shopping. We don't split the food costs. It's, I pay the money for groceries, for the meal plans and whatnot. Chris, for us, he's in charge of, like, he's crazy on the supplements, his protein, his BACCs, BCAA, whatever they are. And, you know, his, like, shaker bottles and all that crap. I ain't paying for that. So he pays for that separately. Chris also does something a little bit differently. He pays for a lot of the times we eat out. Okay, so I get a lot of people who say, Miko, your food budget is so low, but you eat out quite a bit. Now, for instance, let's take Super Bowl. Okay, I'm sorry if you're
Go Chiefs!
Gosh dang it. Okay, I was going for the 49ers. But, and I was going to say, I'm sorry if your team did not win, but, oh God, that halftime show too, you know.
Oh my God.
We'll keep our opinions
Rated
to
X, for sure.
we'll keep our opinions to
Yes.
ourselves
It
for
was
that. We don't want these comments to get flooded with all the craziness about the Super Bowl halftime show. But Chris paid for all of the Super Bowl. We had 5 people over at our apartment. I didn't spend $1. I know.
Wow.
I had 5 people in my 800 square foot apartment, but I didn't spend $1 on food. Chris paid for that. So Chris and I, it's kind of like whatever. You know, he kind of chips in, and I pick up the groceries, and he may go grocery shopping and buy a bunch of fruit. I still eat his fruit. I still eat the fruit in the house. If I go out and buy, like, snacks, he still eats the snacks. It's not like I say, babe, don't touch that. You didn't pay for it. No, it's kind of like it is what it is. So it's just an interesting thing that and I'm sure we'll find more differences about that later. I'm also, I'm rolling over cash from my kitty envelope. $64 was rolled over from unused cash from January into February. Valentine's sinking fund. I'm also using a sinking fund. Oh, which I have in my wallet right here. I put it in my wallet so I wouldn't forget that I have the cash to spend. Have you ever done that? You know, you spend all this time saving for a sinking fund, and then the event comes and you end up, like, not really
using something else,
like really not needing the money, or you use part of your paycheck income, and then all of a sudden you forget that you have it, and you find it like 5 days later, and you're like, crap, I had money set aside for this. So what I do to remind myself is I stick my actual sinking fund envelope in my wallet for that month. $126. Sinking fund is a saving a little bit every month for a specific goal or purpose. And Ryan and I have different sinking funds. Like, she's saving for Thanksgiving. I don't do Thanksgiving. I probably will when I get my new house, because I'll be hosting Thanksgiving at that time. So anyways, sinking fund income, $126, brings my income to $4,922. Here is my entire month's bills. I added 2 new bills, a beauty and kitty bill. I started Amazon subscriptions for my shampoo and conditioner and my kitty litter. My kitty litter is set to come to me automatically every 2 months on the 26th. My shampoo and conditioner is every month on the 26th. So I included that in my budget so I wouldn't forget. All of my bills equal $2,976. I pay my bills online through auto pay. These are all just get automatically, they come out of my checking account. Is that what you do?
Yes, for the most part.
Yeah.
Besides my utility bill and rent, I write checks.
Okay, you write checks.
Yes.
So for me, it's like I don't even want to worry about like forgetting them. They just come out. After all my bills are paid, I'm left with $1,946 that I then use for my cash envelopes. Our cash envelopes are also different. The amounts are also different. I have my Valentine's Day spending here, and then that kitty rollover, which brings my new budget to $94. So I budget $30 every month for kitty, but I'm rolling over $64. I then also all my cash envelopes equal $1,041. I'm left over with $905, and I use that for preparing for the future. Upcoming holidays, events that are happening in my life where I felt pressured to use a credit card and relying on debt. Remember, financial management and being prepared is not just about paying your bills on time and making debt payments. It's about making sure you manage your money in a way where you don't rely or go into debt in the future. And that's what my entire budget by paycheck method was created for, so you don't rely on credit cards. So being prepared for the future. And then I have some leftover cash too. Ooh, we're about the same.
Yeah, we are.
I'm using any leftover cash in my budget for Disneyland. So that's a little bit of the difference. Now, Ryen takes it one step further. Don't forget, she gets paid on the 20th as well. So guess what? She has another paycheck bill tracker. So mine stops here. I'm done. Ryen, though, so the thing is here, February 20th is at the end of the month. The great thing that I see is that Ryen has actually, like, you started planning.
Heck yeah, I did. Yeah.
She's like, I'm right. It's like almost like a brain dump. Because you have your budget calendar created for the whole month.
Right.
You kind of know already what this budget structure is going to be. You might as well get it down on paper.
Exactly. That's why I do it. I might not know my income all the time. I usually wait till my pay stub just because it fluctuates. But like Miko just said, I write down everything that I know that needs to be paid ahead of time.
So one really important thing to mention is that Ryen tracks her spending from the first of the month to the last day of the month.
Yes.
Which is why she has rollover income into the new month, because her tracking period ended at the end of the month, even though she is getting paid on the 5th of February. So that's the big difference. Now, Ryen could track her spending from, you know, the first paycheck that received in January to the first paycheck she received in February. That means she would essentially be doing a paycheck schedule tracking period. So because Ryen uses her last paycheck of the month to cover new bills in the new month, bills that are happening in the new month, people ask us all the time, what does that look like on your expense trackers? And what does that look like when you're closing out your budget? Is it considered January income, February income? So there's been some questions about that. So we're going to show you her expense trackers. Oh, they're so pretty. Okay,
so I don't count any of that as income, right? Like, I just a rollover. Not a rollover. It's a starting balance is what we call it. So you guys can see it's not included in my income. All we do, like Miko says, is whatever is in your checking account on the first day of the month or your new tracking period goes up here, and whatever's in your cash envelopes goes up here. It doesn't matter when you get paid, right?
Right, yeah, I think that's really true. So even though, okay, technically we're saying we're using Ryen's last paycheck of the month, right? That paycheck, the last paycheck in January of that month, is going to list out her paying those bills. It's on that budget. But the income that she is using to pay those bills are showing up in the starting balance of her February expense tracker, because she needs that income to offset those expenses. If you are using a zero-based budget, income minus expenses should equal 0. So that's why on her expense tracker, especially in her checking account, you're seeing a starting balance of $1,211.61. It's important to realize that your total monthly income is not just your paychecks. Your total monthly income is starting balance plus incoming income equals your total monthly income. Your starting balance is included in that total monthly income. Is your starting balance earned income? Not for that necessarily for that tracking period, but it was earned in a previous month. You just never used it in the month in which you received it.
Right, and here's an example right here, actually. So on the 1st, my Disney Plus comes out, but I tracked that in my bill tracker back in January 20th, but it didn't hit my account until the 1st of February. So this starting balance right here includes this $761.
Right, it's paying for that expense that is happening on the 1st of February.
Right.
So Ryen is tracking her spending monthly from the 1st of the month to the last day of the month. And so Ryen won't be stuffing her envelopes until the 5th, but we're going to stuff my envelopes right now. So I'm going to move that aside. Now, one of the things that Ryen and I do is we use the cash envelope breakdown. What is this for? It's breaking out the bill denominations of what you need to pull out cash from the bank so you have exactly what you need to stuff your cash envelopes. Now, as you can see, mine are already... Are you using the llama envelopes this month?
I will this month, yes. But
you will
last month, the ones I'm using now are the watercolor ones.
Do you have your envelope?
Yes.
Bring your envelope over.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring her wallet over. Okay, so we're going to be stuffing my cash envelopes. So Ryen has my old Filofax when I upgraded to the new purple, I think this is called raspberry. And I don't remember what the teal color is. I get so many questions about my wallet. I will put a link to the description of where to get my wallet in the description of this video. So Ryen is currently using the watercolor envelopes, which we also sell on our TBM shop, but she's using those. Are you using these for February?
No, these are still my January
ones?
My January.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have to stuff your envelopes till February 5th. Okay, so these are my new ones. These are the new llama envelopes that we just put up in the shop, because you know what? Who doesn't love llamas? They're hilarious. They make you feel good. They put a smile on your face. So we made llama envelopes. And then in my February savings challenge envelope, I already have some money in there. And then my Valentine's envelope. So all of my cash envelopes from my budget, which are over here, get put into the envelope section here. It's literally, let me get these out here. All right. So if we're going to stuff my kitty envelope, now when I decide what bills to pull out for each envelope, I usually start at the highest bill denomination and work down. I've found that, I don't know if this is how you feel, but it's harder to spend a $100 bill than it is a $10 bill. So like at the end of the month, I always find like I always have my large bills left. Is that what happens to you?
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that, too.
Yeah. So kitty, for instance, I need a 20 and a 10. So I already pulled out cash for my envelopes using my handy dandy sticky note teller slip. I just literally, after filling out my worksheet, bring this teller slip down, just hand it to them, and they give me the bill denominations that I need. So we're going to start stuffing my envelopes. So kitty is 120 and 110. And a 5. Okay, hey, 5 for my $5 challenge.
Haha.
And so I am challenging myself to save every $5 that I come across between now and the end of 2020. So when I track my spending tomorrow morning, I will add this directly to my $5 challenge. But right now it's going in my fun envelope. So right now what we're doing is we moved over to my sinking funds envelopes. We're stuffing those now. And to mention, I hit some savings goals already for 2020. I've already saved $200 for James's birthday. That's not until August, but it's done. I've saved $200 for Babe's birthday, Chris's birthday. That's already done. I've already saved my 4th of July sinking fund. That's $100. That's done. So anytime I hit a savings goal, what I do is I create a new sinking funds envelope and a new tracker. So for 2021, I've already started these envelopes again because I already hit them. $2.20s. Okay. Now, if we did this,
all I have is $3.20, so that's what you're getting. Yay!
Clothing, right?
Yeah.
Yes! All right, so if you've stuffed your envelopes correctly, what you should have left should be what you only have left for your envelope. So we're stuffing my clothing envelope, which is $3.20s. I have $3.20s left. So all envelopes have been stuffed, including my cash envelopes for my budget, as well as my cash envelopes for my sinking funds. Now, keep in mind, Ryen will be going through this process here in a couple of days on the 5th, but she stuffs her envelopes and uses the cash envelope breakdown the same way.
Yes.
All right, and then what I do is I just put these back into my wallet. These envelopes are stuffed. You know, people have asked me, and Ryen, you can jump in on this. People have asked me, do I feel like the budget by paycheck method is easier getting paid only once a month? Because for over 9 years, I got the same pay schedule you were on. I get paid on the 5th and the 20th, and then all of a sudden I became self-employed and I got switched to once a month. Here's my take on that. I think the budget by paycheck method and getting paid once a month and going through this process is easier in the fact you do it once and you're done for the entire month. You don't have to worry about it again. Where it gets tricky and hard, though, is that you really have to check yourself. Check yourself. Because what happened for me when I first started doing it once a month was I was spending through my spending cash very quickly. When you get, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you get paid multiple times a month, you are forced to check in with your budget periodically throughout the month using shorter budget time frames. So for me, it was a process to get in that mindset of once a month and having to use my cash and spread it out over a monthly time period.
You're not getting more till next month. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's right. I don't get more.
Yeah.
Like, once it's gone, and if it's gone on the 5th, I have a really long time to go until the next month.
I only have 15 days.
Yeah, you only have half that time. So that is a full budget overview for February using my budget, Ryen's budget. If you found this video helpful, please like it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. If you are a subscriber, if you hit the bell, you'll get a notification every single time I post a new video.
There's always a test.
So I got my ex-cat back from my ex-husband. I haven't
Ex-cat.
Oh, and I'm in my I didn't change from my bedtime shirt. Done. High five.